Let us learn about next physical quantity, magnetic flux density. What is the difference between magnetic flux and magnetic flux density is magnetic flux means the total number of lines of induction passing normally through the surface area. Suppose I have chosen a surface area here, the total number of field lines which are passing normally. Normally means perpendicularly to this surface area. They must make an angle what 90 degrees to this surface area is called as what? Magnetic flux. Then what is magnetic flux density means magnetic flux density at a point is equal to magnetic flux density at this point. Take for example, it is equal to the total number of magnetic field lines passing through unit surface area. Unit surface area is called as what? Magnetic flux density. So the definition of magnetic flux density is like this. The magnetic flux density at a point is a vector whose magnitude is equal to the magnetic flux per unit area. So mathematically, magnetic flux density is denoted by the letter B. So it is the number of field measure of number of field lines by the area. Magnetic flux is a scalar quantity, whereas magnetic flux density is a vector quantity. Why? Because magnetic flux represents only the number of magnetic field lines, whereas magnetic flux density is the ratio of number of field lines passing through unit surface area. Therefore, I will write it here. Magnetic flux, I will write it in its notation form. Magnetic flux is a scalar, whereas magnetic flux density, it is denoted by the letter what? B. Magnetic flux density is a vector quantity. It has direction. Now, what is the SI unit of magnetic flux density? SI unit of magnetic flux density. So the SI unit of magnetic flux density is pi is measured in Webers, area is measured in meter squares. Therefore, the SI unit of magnetic flux density is Weber per meter square. So we have studied that Weber per meter square is also called as Tesla. The CGS unit of magnetic flux density is Gauss, denoted by the letter G, and the dimensional formula is, I will write it directly, it is mt power minus 2 a power minus 1. So therefore, magnetic flux density is also measured in Tesla. So magnetic flux density is a measure of magnetic field around a magnet. So earlier we studied that magnetic induction is also a study of the strength of magnetic field lines around a magnet. Therefore, magnetic field flux density and magnetic induction both represent one and the same. Till now we have discussed about what is magnetic induction, and magnetic flux. Magnetic flux is denoted by pi b. So what is magnetic induction? We read magnetic induction, I have denoted it by the letter B. So magnetic induction is a measure of magnetic field. It is a measure of magnetic field in magnitude and direction. Magnitude and direction. It is a measure of magnetic field in magnitude and direction. Whereas, what is magnetic flux? It is the measure of total magnetic field. It is a measure of total magnetic field passing through a given area. Suppose if a question is asked now, why measuring magnetic flux is more useful than measuring magnetic field? Why measuring magnetic flux is more useful than magnetic field. So magnetic field. For example, when a coil of wire attached with a bulb is moved through a magnetic field, what happens? Let us see here. See, this is a electromagnet. I will allow current to pass through this electromagnet. When I allow this coil attached with this bulb, you see that the bulb is glowing, and the intensity of the bulb is larger when it comes down, and it is less when I move it up. So here, why is that measuring magnetic flux is more useful than magnetic field? Means when a coil of wire is moved through a magnetic field, a voltage is generated. This voltage depends upon the magnetic flux through the area of the coil. Therefore, the description of magnetic flux allows engineers to easily calculate the voltage generated. Here you can see this coil is not attached to any current wire. It is just allowed to pass into this electromagnet where the bulb is glowing. So this bulb is glowing because of change in flux in the coil. This is according to Faraday's law. We will read about it in detail in electromagnetism chapter. Therefore, magnetic flux plays a major role in electromagnetism. That is why measuring magnetic flux is more useful than studying about magnetic field. In these cases, the magnetic field is complicated. Therefore, engineers feel easy to calculate the voltage by knowing about the description of magnetic flux. Now, if a question is asked, what is the magnetic field outside a solenoid? To answer this, I will explain what is a solenoid first. You see here, I am having different configurations here. I have taken a copper wire, wound it in the form of a circular coil, in a circular coil as a long cylinder shown here. You can see that the radius of this cylinder is far less than the length of this cylindrical coil. This configuration is called as a solenoid. Now here you see here, I have taken copper wire, wound it very close on the circumference of a cylinder here. Now if I allow current to pass through this configuration where it is hollow at the center, you notice that a field is created around this one. You see earlier there is no field here because I have not allowed current to pass through it. Now if I allow current to pass through it, you see that there is a deflection in the magnetic compass. So this deflection gives us a conclusion that a field is generated outside this circular coil. So this is a solenoid. So you saw that there existed field lines outside the solenoid, and earlier I showed that by inserting the compass, the field lines exist inside the solenoid. So to study the characteristics of magnetic field lines, we compared the field lines of a solenoid to that of a bar magnet and came to a conclusion that the field lines are closed loops. The number of field lines per unit area outside the solenoid is very less compared to the number of lines per unit area inside the solenoid. Why? Because the volume inside this cylinder is far less compared to the volume that is spread outside the solenoid. So hence the magnetic field outside the solenoid is very low, that is considered to practically to be what? Zero. So for a question, what is the magnetic field outside a solenoid? Though magnetic field exists, because the percentage of magnetic field lines are less compared to the field lines passing through the solenoid, we say that there are no magnetic field lines around a solenoid. So practically the magnetic field is zero outside a solenoid. Now you see, if I insert this iron rod into this configuration, what happens you see now here. Now I have inserted this iron rod here. I will bring this compass to this end. You see there is a deflection because of this electromagnetism. Earlier I allowed current. Now if I switch it on, you see it acts as an electromagnetic and the field strength is strong here. When compared to earlier case, you see, I will bring this iron rod here. Now if I switch it on here, it is getting attracted. You see, from here, you see, if I allow current to pass through it, it is getting what? Attracted. Now it has generated a more magnetic field because I have inserted a magnetic material inside the hollow space. Now this configuration is not called a solenoid, it is an electromagnet. An electromagnet has a strong magnetic field around it. It depends upon the number of turns in the coil and the amount of current that we allow to pass through this coil. Earlier also, in an activity to show what happens when a coil is placed in a strong magnetic field, I used this apparatus. You see, I will open this apparatus and demonstrate. In this apparatus, I have taken copper wire and wound it many number of times, and I have inserted iron rods at the center of this copper coil. Now, when I allow current to pass through this coil can generate a huge magnetic field around it because I have inserted these iron rods into it. Now you see, if I insert this coil attached with a bulb, it is not glowing because I have not allowed current to pass through it. Now if I allow current to pass through it, you see the bulb is glowing. The ends are not attached to any electric terminal. See, you can see earlier also I told this is because of change in flux. We can understand the change in flux based on Faraday's law of induction in the chapter electromagnetism. So now what is that I wanted to clarify you is a solenoid is different from a electromagnet. We compare a solenoid with a bar magnet to study the characteristics of magnetic field lines, whether they are closed loops or open loops. For the question whether a solenoid has a magnetic field outside it, it has a magnetic field which is very low compared to the field inside the solenoid. Therefore, practically we consider that a solenoid has no magnetic field outside it. Our next topic is to find the magnetic induction at a point on the axial line of a bar magnet. So, we will try to derive a formula to calculate the magnetic induction at a point on the axial line and know its direction. So, we know that a magnet has a field around it. For example, I will take a bar magnet here. A bar magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. It has a field around it from north to south. Field around it north to south. So the measure of magnetic field both in magnitude and direction is called as what? Magnetic induction. Now in this case we have to find the magnetic induction at a point on the axial line. What is axial line? The line that is passing through the poles of a magnet is called as what? Axial line. So to find the magnetic induction at a point on the axial line of a bar magnet. So somewhere here I want to calculate the magnetic induction of this bar magnet. So practically let us see what is that going to happen when I place a unit north pole on the axial line of a bar magnet. Let us see. So to understand the magnetic induction at a point on the axial line, I have taken a sheet of paper. I have sprinkled iron filings over it, spread iron filings around it. and I have placed a magnetic compass also in this field. You see the magnetic compass, the north pole of this magnetic compass is facing towards the north pole of this earth here. This is the south pole. What happens when I place a bar magnet in this paper you see here? Now this is the north pole of a bar magnet. Now I will place this north pole in this field you see and tap it. What happens when I am tapping it? You see field is being generated, and you can also see that the compass earlier it was pointing towards north pole, was pointing to this end. Now it started what? Oscillating because of magnetic induction of this magnet. Now I want to measure the magnetic induction at this point on the axial line of this bar magnet. Now the line that is passing through these poles is called as what line? Axial line. Now I will just tilt it in this direction. You see, I will just stop it here because it will take some more time for it to stop. Now you see, when I placed this magnetic compass in the axial line of this bar magnet, this south pole is attracted to this end and north pole is facing in this direction. Now if I am having a rotating coil magnetometer with me, I can measure the magnetic induction at this point due to this bar magnet. Now to derive a formula to calculate the magnetic induction at this point, we will consider something what we have seen practically here. So we saw the direction of induction. The north pole in this direction, this north pole and this unit north pole are also in the same direction. So the magnetic induction on the equatorial line, the direction of magnetic induction on the equatorial line is in the direction of this magnetic field itself. That is what we have seen practically. Now let us derive the formula. Now let us derive a mathematical expression to calculate the magnetic induction at a point on the axial line. Now I will consider a bar magnet. I will consider a bar magnet. A bar magnet has a north pole and a south pole. I will name this bar magnet as AB. Let the pole strengths of this bar magnet be what? For north pole we take it as what? Plus M, and for south pole we take it as what? Minus M. Let the length of the bar magnet be 2 times L. 2L be the length of the bar magnet. Now I want to calculate the magnetic induction at a point on the axial line. What is the axial line of a bar magnet? The line that is passing through the poles of a magnet is called as axial line of a bar magnet. Now I want to calculate the magnetic induction due to this bar magnet at a point P. Let me name this point as P on the axial line. So let the distance of this point P from the center of this bar magnet be D. I will consider this distance as D. Now what will be the distance from the northern end to this point P? This total distance is D. Now what will be this distance? D minus half of this length of the bar magnet is what? L. Therefore the distance from B to P will be D minus L. And what shall be the distance from the southern end to this point? From this point, so from the center to this point it is D. Here half of this length of the bar magnet is taken as what? L. Therefore the total length from this southern end to this point P is D plus L. So these are the variables. So with these variables we will try to calculate the magnetic induction at this point P. Now to calculate the magnetic induction at this point, practically I showed that I placed a unit north pole here. I placed a magnetic compass. Consider this is a unit north pole. When I placed a magnetic compass here, we saw that the direction of this northern, this is the north pole. So this opposes the north pole. Therefore the induction of this north pole at this point will be in which direction? In the direction of the magnetic field. So in the direction, in this direction. So now we know that the magnetic induction at a point due to a isolated magnetic pole. Magnetic induction due to an isolated magnetic pole. So what is the formula? It is B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi m by r square. We read it where r is the distance from the center to that point, r square. So here we will apply this formula to calculate the magnetic induction at P because of north pole. So the magnetic induction at P because of this north pole. So magnetic induction at P because of north pole. I will write it as Bn. So basing on this formula, I can write it as mu naught by 4 pi. What is this pole strength here? M by what is the distance between this point north and to this point P? It is d minus L. So instead of r square, I will write it here as d minus L whole square. So what is the direction of this magnetic induction because of the north pole? The direction of induction because of this north pole is in this direction, that is from B to P. So I will write the direction of induction because of north pole is from B to P. Similarly, the magnetic induction at P because of south pole, I will write it as Bs because of south pole is equal to mu naught by 4 pi. Again the pole strength is what? M. I will not consider the direction, I will consider only the magnitude. M by, now what is the distance from the south pole to this point P? It is d plus L. Therefore I will write it as d plus L whole square. Here the direction of induction, you see practically we saw that the south pole is in this direction. So the direction is from P to A. The direction of induction due to this south pole is from where? P to A. Now among these two magnetic inductions, which one is larger? The one which is very close to this pole will have what? More magnetic induction. So I will write it like this: magnetic induction of the north pole. Magnetic induction of the north pole will be greater than the magnetic induction of the south pole. Why are we considering this magnetic induction of north pole is greater? Because P is a point which is very close to this pole. Or mathematically also I can tell here in this way. You see what is the magnetic induction formula? Mu naught by 4 pi m by d minus L whole square. Here it is Bs is equal to, that is magnetic field due to the south pole is equal to mu naught by 4 pi m by d plus L whole square. So all these variables are constants here. The denominator is d minus L whole square, here it is d plus L whole square. So comparatively d minus L whole square will be what? A smaller value, lesser, and d plus L whole square will be a larger value, larger. or this will be what? Greater. So when the denominator is smaller, the value will be what? Greater. When the denominator is larger, its value will be smaller. Therefore, I can write the magnetic induction of this north pole is greater than the magnetic induction of what? South pole. Now, to calculate the magnetic induction at this point P, I want to know the resultant. One vector is acting in this direction and the another vector is acting in this. So both these vectors are in opposite direction. So to find the resultant, I will use this vector addition. So the net magnetic induction can be calculated by using this formula: the magnetic induction of north pole minus the magnetic induction of this south pole, because the magnetic induction in north pole is considered to be larger. So I will name these two equations as equation 1 and this as equation 2. Now substituting these two equations here, this is mu naught by 4 pi m by d minus L whole square minus mu naught by 4 pi m by d plus L whole square. So we can take out what common here? Mu naught by 4 pi m common. I will write this denominator as 1 minus dl whole square minus 1 by d plus L whole square. So on cross multiplying, mu naught by 4 pi m, if you cross multiply, you will get d plus L whole square minus d minus L whole square by d minus L whole square into d plus L whole square. So now what happens? In mathematics we know two formulas: a plus b whole square minus a minus b whole square. This is in this form: a plus b whole square minus a minus b whole square. So what is a plus b whole square minus a minus b whole square? Here a square minus a square gets cancelled, b square minus b square plus 2ab, minus into minus again plus, so you will get what? 4ab. Similarly, this is a minus b whole square into a plus b whole square. What will we get here? It is a minus b whole square into a plus b whole square. So this is nothing but if you this is a power n into b power n is what? ab whole power n. Therefore I can write it as what? A square minus b square whole square. So now I will write this equation as b net is equal to mu naught by 4 pi m into, so on simplifying this one, what will you get? 4 times ab. Instead of ab I will write d into L by, in the denominator it is d square minus L square whole square. So now to further simplify this, I will rewrite this formula in this way. I can write mu naught by 4 pi m into, I will write it this as 2 into L into 2d whole divided by d square minus L square whole square. Now why I have written like this means the product of pole strength and the magnetic length is called as what? Magnetic moment. The product of pole strength m and magnetic length 2L is called magnetic moment. We denote magnetic moment by the letter capital M. So now it is mu naught by 4 pi m into 2L, I will write it as capital M. So magnetic moment is equal to what? Pole strength into length of this magnet. So pole strength into length of the magnet, I will write it as what? M into 2D. So I will write this as 2md by d square minus L square whole square. So this is the net magnetic moment. This is the net magnetic induction at a point on the axial line of a bar magnet. Now, if we consider the bar magnet to be what? A short bar magnet. Short bar magnet means the length of the bar magnet is far less than the distance between the center and the chosen point P. So, in the case of short bar magnet, where the length of the bar magnet is far less than the distance P from the center of the bar magnet, then this d square minus L square will be equal to what? D square. So therefore the magnetic induction at the point on the axial line, therefore the magnetic induction at a point on the axial line of a short bar magnet is BA on the axial line is equal to mu naught by 4 pi 2m d by, so earlier it is d square minus L square whole square. So d square minus L square is equal to what? When it is a short bar magnet is equal to d square. Therefore d square whole square. So how can I write this one now? D square whole square. You see. So now the magnetic induction on the axial line can be written as BA is equal to mu naught by 4 pi here 2md by d power 4, what d gets cancelled. Finally, the magnetic induction on the axial line due to a bar magnet at a point P is 2 times the magnetic moment by d cube. So this is the formula to calculate the magnetic induction at a point on the axial line. So what is the direction of magnetic induction? So the direction of magnetic induction we saw practically. The direction of magnetic induction at this point means point on the axial line. This point means this point on axial line. Point on axial line is always in the same direction, of magnetic moment. What is the direction of magnetic moment? It is south pole to north pole. So when a point P is on the axial line, the direction of magnetic induction at this point P is also in the direction of magnetic induction of this bar magnet. Now what happens if the point P chosen on the axial line is on the left side of this bar magnet where it is very close to the south pole? Will there be any change in the magnetic induction or it will remain the same? Means if P is close to the north pole or south pole, the magnetic induction will be the same. Why it will be the same? If we place here magnetic compass, you see the magnetic compass north pole will be in this direction attracting what? The south, and the south pole will be pointing this direction, but the strength of magnetic induction due to south pole will be greater at this end and north pole will be lesser. And since these two vectors are again in opposite direction, the same method will be applied to calculate the magnetic induction formula. Therefore, the magnetic induction will be the same and the direction also will be the same when P is chosen on either end of the bar magnets on the axial line. So finally, the magnetic induction on the axial line of a bar magnet is given by the formula mu naught by 4 pi 2m d cube, and the direction of magnetic induction is in the direction of the magnetic moment of the bar magnet. So the direction of magnetic moment is from south to north pole. So at this point also, the direction of magnetic induction at this point on the axial line due to the bar magnet is from south to north pole. So direction is in the direction of magnetic induction. Direction of magnetic induction is in the direction of magnetic moment. Direction of magnetic moment. This is more important. So this is the formula to calculate the magnetic induction at a point on the axial line. Our next topic is to find the magnetic induction at a point on the equatorial line of a bar magnet. So what is equatorial line of a bar magnet? Let us consider a bar magnet which has a north pole and a south pole. So the line that is passing perpendicular to the poles of this magnet is called as what? Equatorial line of a bar magnet. The line that is passing perpendicular to the poles of a magnet is called equatorial line. So now our task is to calculate the magnetic induction at a point on this line. This is called the equatorial line of a bar magnet. So to understand this, we will do an activity practically. In this activity, I have taken a magnetic compass. I have pivoted this magnetic compass over a sharp needle. This red end is the north pole of this magnetic compass. It is facing towards the north pole of this earth. Now I have taken a sheet of paper and sprinkled iron filings over this one. Now I will place a bar magnet on this sheet of paper. You see the I have sprinkled iron filings here. The north pole of this compass is facing towards the north of the earth. Now I will place this bar magnet in this sheet of paper where iron filings are sprinkled, and I will tap this one. You see magnetic field is what created around the bar magnet. Now this line that passes through the poles is called as axial line. Earlier we studied it. Now the line that is perpendicular to this axial line is the equatorial line. Now we want to calculate the magnetic induction at a point on this equatorial line. Now I will move this sheet of paper close to this magnetic compass. You see what happens when I bring it close to this magnetic compass. So the magnetic compass is showing what? Deflection. So now let us choose this point P on the equatorial line. So that is what is our condition. We have to calculate the magnetic induction at this point. Now you see the magnetic compass has what? Deflected in this direction. Now if I bring it little bit closer, if I bring this magnet little bit closer, you can see it will further deflect. Now because of magnetic induction of this bar magnet, the compass has changed its direction. Now the direction of this magnetic induction is opposite to the direction of magnetic moment of this bar magnet. So if you place a point P or at a point P on the equatorial line of a bar magnet, the direction of magnetic induction is opposite to the direction of magnetic moment of this bar magnet. So with this idea, we will derive a mathematical relationship now. Now let us derive a mathematical relationship for magnetic induction at a point on the equatorial line of a bar magnet. So I will consider a bar magnet. A bar magnet has poles, north pole and south pole. Bar magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. I will mark the ends of the bar magnet as AB as I marked earlier. Let the pole strengths be, north pole is what, plus M, and south pole is what, minus M. Let the length of the bar magnet be what, 2L, and the magnetic moment of this bar magnet also be how much, capital M. Capital M is the magnetic moment of the bar magnet. Let O be the center of this bar magnet. Now we want to calculate the magnetic induction at a point on the equatorial line. So what is the equatorial line? Equatorial line is the line that is perpendicular to the axial line. So this is the equatorial line of this bar magnet. Now let us choose a point somewhere here on the equatorial line. So P is a point on the equatorial line of a bar magnet. Now to calculate the magnetic induction at this point due to this bar magnet. Now how to frame the equations? Let D be the distance from the center of the bar magnet to this point P. Let D be the distance. Now to calculate the magnetic induction at this point P, here the magnetic induction due to this northern end at P will be in this direction. Will be in this direction. Here. So when a unit north pole is placed here, this north pole will deflect this north pole and the induction of this north pole will be in this direction. So induction of north pole will be in this direction. Now what will be the direction of induction of this south pole at this point P? So this is a south pole. Here the direction of induction of this south pole will be towards the south pole. So magnetic induction of south pole will be in this direction. Now what is the resultant of this magnetic induction of these two poles at this point P is what we have to calculate. Now you see D is the distance from the center to this point P. So this length of the bar magnet is 2L. Therefore this length will be what? Only L. So this is a perpendicular, this is a right angle triangle. Therefore this length will be square root of D square plus L square. On this side also this distance will be square root of D square plus L square. So earlier we have studied that magnetic induction due to an isolated pole. Magnetic induction due to an isolated magnetic pole. Isolated magnetic pole is B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi M by R square. Now the magnetic induction of the north pole. Now magnetic induction due to north pole. Magnetic induction due to north pole at P is, so due to north pole at P is, so with reference to this formula mu naught by 4 pi, its pole strength is what? M by, instead of R square I should write square root of D square plus L square whole square. So the root gets cancelled. Directly I will write it as D square plus L square. And the direction of magnetic induction is in the direction of B to P, in this direction. So the direction of magnetic induction is from B to P. Now what is the magnetic induction due to south pole at P? So the magnetic induction due to south pole at P is mu naught by 4 pi, again it is what? M by R square. Here what is this R? Square root of D square plus L square. So when you square it, root gets cancelled. It is d square plus L square. Now what is the direction of magnetic induction here? It is from P to A. Direction of magnetic induction is from P to A. So here the direction of magnetic induction is from P to A. That is what we saw practically. When I placed a magnetic compass here, you saw the resultant was in this direction. The resultant was in this direction. Understand? Now to calculate the magnetic induction at this point, so the induction due to north pole is in this direction, the induction due to south pole is in this direction, the resultant will be what? In this direction according to vector additions, vector law. Now to get the net magnetic induction, now I will apply what? The concept of vectors. This is the direction of magnetic induction due to this north pole. So when this is the direction of magnetic induction due to north pole, the vertical component at this point due to the north pole will be how much? It will be Bn sin theta, and the horizontal component due to this north pole will be how much? It will be Bn cos theta. Similarly, the magnetic induction at this point due to south pole. To calculate this one, if I draw the vertical component of this south pole, vertical component of this south pole will be in this direction, downward direction. It will be how much? It will be Bs due to south pole. Vertical component it will be sin theta, and the horizontal component will be how much? Bs cos theta. Since the pole strengths are same, the magnitude of these inductions also will be what? Same. Now to get the resultant magnetic induction at this point, so net magnetic induction is, see, in this direction, these two vectors are in opposite direction, therefore the resultant here is 0 because of this vertical components. The resultant due to these horizontal components, both the vectors are in the same direction. So the horizontal component of north pole is in this direction, the horizontal component of south pole is also in this direction. So to get the resultant, I have to add it. So the net magnetic moment at this point is nothing but the sum of the magnetic moments of the horizontal components. So it is Bn cos theta plus Bs cos theta. Since the pole strengths are same at both the ends, M is the pole strength and it is what? Same. This magnetic induction also will be same. Therefore, I will write this as what? I will take it as only one pole, either north or south. I will take 2 times, I will add this one, 2 times Bn cos theta. Now, what is the for net magnetic induction? It is 2 into, so what is the magnetic induction of this north pole here? It is mu naught by 4 pi m by d square plus L square. Now, in the place of cos theta, what I have to write here? You see here, the angle made at this end from north pole to this point is theta. Let us assume this angle to be what? Theta, and this angle also will be how much? Theta, since this will become an isosceles triangle. So in this right angled triangle POB, what is cos theta is equal to? Cos theta is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse. So what is the adjacent side here? L by what is the hypotenuse? Square root of d square plus L square. Therefore, in the place of cos theta in this equation, I will write it as L by square root of d square plus L square. Why? Since cos theta is equal to L by square root of d square plus L square. Now, in further simplification to get the net magnetic induction, what is that? We know x into root x is equal to how much? X power 1 here x power 1 by 2. It is x power 1 into x power 1 by 2. So it is how much? X power 3 by 2. X power 3 by 2. So I will write this as here it is, I will write this mu naught by 4 pi m into this 2 I will bring to this side, m into 2l by this is d square plus l square into square root of d square plus l square, x into root x. What is x into root x? X power 3 by 2. So in the place of x, d square plus l square whole power 3 by 2. So now earlier I told that the product of pole strength and the length of the magnet is magnetic moment. So magnetic moment is given as the length of the product of pole strength into the length of the magnet. Therefore the net magnetic moment is mu naught by 4 pi. Instead of m into 2l I will write capital M, magnetic moment, by d square plus l square whole power 3 by 2. So this is the mathematical formula to calculate the magnetic induction at a point on the equatorial line of a bar magnet. In the case of a short bar magnet, what will happen, you see? So in the case of a short bar magnet, in the case of a short bar magnet, here the distance will be far greater than this length L. Therefore, this will be, if D is very large, then D square plus L square will be approximately equal to again what? D square only. Approximately equal to what? D square. Therefore, the net magnetic induction at this point can be written as mu naught by 4 pi into magnetic moment by d square plus l square is again d square. So it is d square power 3 by 2. This 2 gets cancelled. Therefore the net magnetic induction is mu naught by 4 pi m by d cube for a short bar magnet. Now what is the direction of magnetic induction? So the direction of magnetic induction on the equatorial line, it is always opposite to the direction of magnetic induction. It is opposite to the direction of magnetic induction. So that is what we have seen here. You see again here in this diagram, you see the direction of magnetic moment of this bar magnet is where? From south to north pole. This is the direction of magnetic moment of this bar magnet. So what is the direction of magnetic induction at this point P? It is in this direction. Therefore the direction of magnetic induction at a point P on the equatorial line is opposite to the direction of magnetic induction of bar magnet. This is one important concept which we must keep it in mind. The next topic is how to determine the magnetic induction at a point due to a magnetic dipole. Magnetic induction at a point due to a magnetic dipole. What is a magnetic dipole? If two poles are separated by a certain length, then we call that configuration as a dipole. Therefore, a bar magnet is also a dipole. Now, I will take a bar magnet. A bar magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. Let its pole strength be what? M. This is plus M and this is what? Minus M. Let the length of the bar magnet be how much? 2L, and let its magnetic moment also be how much? M. So the direction of magnetic moment of this bar magnet will be from south to north. Now I want to calculate, this is the direction of magnetic moment. Now I want to calculate the magnetic induction at a point due to this bar magnet. Let me choose this point somewhere here P, which is not on the axial line of the bar magnet or on the equatorial line of the bar magnet. Now this position vector P, let it make an angle theta with the magnetic axis. So this is the magnetic axis. This is the magnetic axis and this is the position vector. This is the center of this bar magnet O, and if I join this point O to this point P, this is the position vector. So let this position vector make an angle theta with the magnetic axis here. So this is the parallel line. Let this angle be what? Theta. Now we consider the magnetic moment of this bar magnet to be how much? M. Now the magnet, let me mark this as what? AB. Now this magnet AB of moment M can be treated as a combination of two magnets. So in dynamics also we have read, if the force is acting in this direction, it is making an angle theta with the horizontal, then if the force is making an angle, then the horizontal component is what? F cos theta, and the vertical component is what? F sin theta. Now similarly the same concept I will apply here. The magnetic moment of this bar magnet is in this direction. Now I will assume that there are two bar magnets which are perpendicular to each other, like this, perpendicular to each other, and their resultant, the pole strength of this magnetic moment of this magnet is also how much? M, and the magnetic moment of this bar magnet which is perpendicular to this one is also how much? M. Then the resultant of magnetic moment of these two magnets will be in this direction, therefore it will be how much? M. So suppose if I imagine that the magnets can be treated as a combination of what? Two magnets. This is what? One magnet of pole strength N1 S1, another magnet of poles N2 S2. The magnetic moment of this magnet will be in this direction will be how much? It will be, since this is making an angle theta with this theta, so this will be how much? This will be M cos theta in this direction. In this direction it will be how much? M sin theta. Here see, theta is the angle, so when in the direction of this angle it is how much? F cos theta. Here also this is the position vector, theta is this angle, therefore in this direction it is M cos theta, in this direction it is what? M sin theta. Now to calculate the magnetic induction at this point due to this bar magnet, now we considered that it is a what? Combination of two magnets. Now you see this magnet, this is the center and this is the axial line of this bar magnet. So earlier we calculated the magnetic induction at a point on the axial line. Magnetic induction on the axial line as how much? Mu naught by 4 pi, mu naught by 4 pi 2m by d cube on the axial line. So therefore now the magnetic induction at this point, the magnetic induction at point P, magnetic induction at point P due to magnet, what magnet? N1 S1, due to N1 S1 of what is the moment of this magnet? It is M cos theta. So N1 S1 of magnetic moment M cos theta is, now what will be this magnetic induction for this? I will call this bar magnet as what? One B1 will be equal to mu naught by 4 pi 2. Instead of M I have to write how much? M cos theta by how much? D cube. I will name this as equation 1. since the point lies on the axial line, I have used this formula. Now, the second magnet is perpendicular to this first magnet, and this line is the equatorial line of this bar magnet. So, what is the magnetic induction on equatorial line? It is mu naught by 4 pi. It is m by d cube. Therefore, the magnetic induction due to this bar magnet, magnetic induction, I will write it properly. Magnetic induction at P due to the magnet N2S2 of magnetic moment. What is the magnetic moment of this N2S2? It is m sin theta. It is m sin theta is, I will write it as second magnet, B2 is equal to, because the magnetic moment is where on the equatorial line, it is mu naught by 4 pi m. So instead of m, I will write it as what? M sin theta by d cube. So this is our second equation. Now these two magnetic inductions, see these two magnetic inductions. So this is in this direction, and earlier we studied that the direction of magnetic induction on the equatorial line. So second magnet is in this direction, P is on the equatorial line. So the direction of induction on the equatorial line will be opposite to this direction. So this will be in this direction. So induction of magnet B2 will be in this direction. Induction of this first will be what? In the direction. In this direction. This is B1. Now these two are perpendicular to each other. Now this will be the resultant magnetic induction of these two vectors. So what will be the resultant? So these two magnetic, I will write it. These two magnetic inductions are, these two magnetic inductions. These two magnetic inductions means induction of magnet 1 and induction of magnet 2 are perpendicular to each other. Therefore, the resultant magnetic induction at P is given by, how can we write it? The resultant magnitude. So the vectors are perpendicular to each other means then the resultant will be how much? B1 square plus B2 square. So what is this value of B1? Mu naught by 4 pi 2m cos theta by d cube. B2 is mu naught by 4 pi m sin theta by d cube. So if I square it and write it, I can write mu naught by 4 pi m by d cube outside, because when I square it and bring it out from the square root, this comes out. In this root, what will be remaining means, if I square this one, it will be cos square theta here. It will be 4 cos square theta plus here it will be how much? Sin square theta will be remaining. So mu naught by 4 pi m by d cube. If I take here one cos square theta separately, so it is 3 cos square theta plus cos square theta plus sin square theta is what? 1. Therefore, the net magnetic moment at a point P will be how much? B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi m by d cube into square root of 1 plus 3 cos square theta. So this is the formula to calculate the magnetic induction at a point due to a magnetic dipole. So in the figure we saw that so the P vector is making an angle theta with the magnetic axis. Now this is the resultant. This is the resultant And now this vector, let it make an angle what? Pi. Let it make an angle what? Pi. Then what can we write about the direction of this resultant magnetic induction? From this figure I can write it as tan pi is equal to tan pi. So I will complete this right angle triangle here. I will complete this right angle triangle here, because these two are what? Vectors. These two are vectors. So what is this B2? So I can shift this vector here. This magnitude is also how much? B2. What is this magnitude? It is B1. So what is this angle? Tan pi is equal to opposite side by adjacent side. So it is B2 by B1. So what can I conclude here? If I further simplify this one, tan pi is equal to, here what is this B2 equation is equal to mu naught by 4 pi m sin theta by d cube. What is B1? Mu naught by 4 pi 2m cos theta by d cube. So this mu naught by 4 pi, mu naught by 4 pi gets cancelled, and I will write it directly. What will be the remaining here is cancelled, sin theta by 2 cos theta, we will get it. On dividing these two equations, we get sin theta by 2 cos theta. What is sin theta by cos theta? It is tan theta. Therefore, tan pi is equal to, this is tan theta by 2. Tan theta by 2. Therefore, we get a relationship as tan theta is equal to 2 tan pi. Understand? Therefore, we derived the formula to calculate the magnetic induction at a point due to a magnetic dipole as how much? B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi m by d cube into square root of 1 plus 3 cos square theta. So this is the formula to calculate the magnetic induction at a point due to a magnetic dipole. Now we studied earlier two cases. What is the magnetic moment when P is a point on the axial line of a bar magnet. So this is the axial line of a bar magnet. Let M be the magnetic moment of this bar magnet. So what is the direction of this magnetic moment? It is in this direction from south to north to this point P. Now what is the direction, what is the angle this P vector is making with this magnetic induction? The angle made by this P vector is how much? 0 degrees. So if you substitute theta is equal to 0 degrees in this above equation, what is cos 0? Cos 0 is what? 1. Therefore, we get B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into m by d cube under square root. So cos 0 is 1. So 1 plus 3 is what? 4. Root 4 is how much? We get it as what? Root 4. Root 4 is how much? 2. Therefore, the magnetic induction, on the axial line of a bar magnet is mu naught by 4 pi. This root 4 is what? 2m by d cube. So we can also derive this formula in this way also. Now take the second case which we have discussed. What is the magnetic induction of a bar magnet on an equatorial line? This is a bar magnet. This is north and south pole. Equatorial line means the line that is perpendicular to this axial line. We chose a point P on this axial line. What is the angle made by this P vector with this magnetic moment? So the direction of magnetic moment is from south to north. Let the magnetic moment of this bar magnet be what? M. What is the angle made by this P vector with this magnetic moment? It is 90 degrees. Therefore, if theta is equal to 90 degrees, you substitute theta is equal to 90 degrees in this above equation. What is cos 90? Cos 90 is 0. Therefore, this term becomes 0. Root 1 value is what? 1. Therefore, the magnetic induction on the equatorial line is equal to mu naught by 4 pi m by d cube. So we can derive the earlier two formulas from this equation also. Suppose if a question is asked, what is the ratio of magnetic induction of axial line and the magnetic induction of equatorial line? What is the ratio of magnetic induction of an axial line and equatorial line? So from these derived formulas, the magnetic induction on axial line is mu naught by 4 pi 2m by d cube. For equatorial line it is mu naught by 4 pi m by d cube. So if I write it here, it is mu naught by 4 pi. For axial line it is 2m by d cube. For equatorial line it is mu naught by 4 pi m by d cube. So mu naught by 4 pi gets cancelled, d cube gets cancelled, m gets cancelled. So the ratio of magnetic induction of axial line to that of equatorial line is what? 2 by 1. So the magnetic induction on axial line is 2 times the magnetic induction on equatorial line. This is the relationship between the magnetic induction on axial line and equatorial line.